Done? Hello, everyone. We are live. How's everybody here? There's some people in the comments. I'm super excited to see you all again in Business Players Live. Okay. Today we have a special guest. His name is Lauro Herrera. Okay. He's an amazing dude, and he's going to be sharing some big knowledge with you guys. Okay. So let me present this guy properly. And he's here already. Okay. So Lauro Herrera is former vice president of sales at senior life insurance company. Badass sales expert. Okay. He is the co-owner of X-Telecom and Herrera Insurance Marketing, his own insurance marketing business. Okay. He has 18 plus years in the insurance industry and now helps dozens of insurance companies to succeed again like he did, okay, for almost 2 decades. Okay. On top of that, he's also an author of a book called My Journey as a Final Expense Man. Welcome, my friend. Welcome, Lauro.
Hey,
Woo! Let's go.
hey, bro. Happy Tuesday, Jose. Thank you for
Welcome, bro.
inviting me on here, bro. I'm humbled.
Oh, man.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. It's an honor to have you, man. Yeah.
Thank
By
you,
the
bro.
way, Lauro, he is in a place where he cannot have a camera, okay? But he's still here with us, which is, super appreciated. And he took the time to be here with us. So thank you so much, man.
Anytime, Jose. Anytime. I really enjoyed our conversation when you first reached out. I asked you. I said, what's your objective? And it's
Yeah.
about, providing value, giving back to the community, our community, business, sales, marketing. And I really capture that. You know what I'm saying? So, when I told you I was nervous, this is like, one of my few first podcasts, even though I do a lot of video content, but it's still nice to be on here, bro. So I appreciate, the opportunity to be on here with you.
Oh, man. Thank you so much for that. That means a lot, bro. How are you doing? Tell us, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I've been working really, really hard the last few years. And I'll tell you what, the last couple weeks, I just unplugged, and sometimes those type of moments, they're not planned. Part of them could be planned. Sometimes you just got to unplug and address the more important things in life, which is family, friends, fellowship. And, I've been doing good, but I've been really thinking about, just how important that is lately. You know what I'm saying? Building relationships, like we're doing here with you.
Yeah.
So I've been great, man. I've been great. Grateful. That's exactly what's really
Man,
been going through my heart.
that's awesome, Lauro. We had Matt Smith. I think I told you.
Uh-huh.
And that was most of what he said. He's like, man,
Really?
yeah. He's like, you guys can make as much money as you want, but family is first. And, your friends, like all of that is the most valuable thing you guys have.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right, Jose. I totally agree.
Yeah. So, bro, tell us more about your incredible story.
So, man, I don't know if it'd be incredible, but I'm passionate about
Oh, for sure is.
final expense insurance, and 18 years this year that I started
Woo.
selling insurance door to door, and man, I fell in love with it. Fell in love with the concept of, I insure you on a piece of paper and make you a promise that one day we will keep. And the idea of paying claims and watching people in my neighborhood and my community receive those claims paid really triggered, a fire in me. And man, that door knocking became very successful. We helped, the agency that I was at, we took them to some, double digit growth.
Woo.
Through a mix of, sales training and marketing. They go both hand in hand. And I did that for a good 6 to 8 years, which was just door knocking, in a few states. And I really enjoyed that, man. But at the core, paying insurance claims to cover the most basics of needs, which is funeral insurance.
Yeah.
funeral costs, end of life, shrinking, estate, that require more money. Just, I really enjoyed that process. But in order to accomplish that result, you got to learn how to sell. You got to learn how to close.
100%.
You got to learn how to build marketing strategies that work, because you need the marketing to make the sale in order to help the community. So
Yeah.
that's what I
Woo!
did. And then,
Let's go.
roughly 10 years ago, living in California, we looked at direct mail marketing, and I said to myself, it's really difficult for us to maintain that type of strategy
Hmm.
in the states of California, Florida, and parts of Texas. It was really challenging to generate a marketing piece that we can, maybe not make a profit on, but at least it'd be cost effective to keep doing business selling insurance. We
Hmm.
realized that we couldn't afford to do that. And
Wow.
it was really challenging to accept that, because now you're watching the big boys, right, with the Black American Express and the big money, right, buying everything out. You feel pretty small. But I'm thinking, man, this is it. This is the end of my field organization. And you start getting nervous, because you're thinking, uh-oh, this is over.
Yeah.
Because you're on a roll, you're making money, and no matter where you've been at, no matter what you've sold, I've always heard from sales rep that say, oh, is this going to last forever? And they're always scared in
Yeah.
the background. Oh man. And I had that. I went through that. But I saw that it was coming to an end for me in my pocketbook, and I couldn't maintain it. At that moment in time, that's where the concept of the telephone sales
Hmm.
became, reality. I saw an insurance carrier that I went to work with at Senior Life. I saw them do it, and it just destroyed my mind, because that was like, a caveman seeing fire for the first time, right? He's like,
Yeah.
wow. I had that type of moment when I saw it being done over the phone. And right then and there, I knew that the end of my agency, as I thought I knew it, I embraced technology and we saved it. Because now, by selling over the phone, I wasn't tied to territories. I wasn't tied to an area code, a zip code, or a certain part of the country. I could go anywhere.
Beautiful.
And we started on that journey, Jose, and it
Hmm.
wasn't easy. The cost per acquisition, the cost to operate, the many setbacks to learn something new was really, really challenging. But me doing it personally every single day made the difference,
Hmm.
because it wasn't where I can hire someone like you or somebody else. No, this was very specific. I had to do it myself.
Hmm.
I couldn't hire anybody to do it because no one was doing it. You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it was a challenging moment, but very gratifying, because through those trial and errors, we started developing this concept. And for many years now, we've been talking about remote sales, using phone to evade traffic, congested cities like what we see up here in San Francisco,
Hmm.
North Bay. It's crazy, and just selling it as an opportunity. And then we came across with the crisis we had last year. I'm not going to mention the name, right?
Right.
But we came across that crisis, and it showed everybody that we're not embracing technology.
Hmm.
They were missing the boat. And what's crazy about this, even more so, is that in 2017, myself and Grant Cardone's team, we rolled out a sales university. This is before the crisis, because we saw an opportunity to train a lot of people online selling insurance, going against the tradition of face to face.
Yeah.
But they weren't accepting it in 2017. But when 2020 hit, it's amazing how things change, right?
Hmm.
How I've always called it a paradigm shift. You change the way you think. Now you're doing business differently. Look, we're on a Zoom here having a meeting.
Yeah. Right.
My goodness, and we're connected through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know how many platforms you got on here, but we're connected.
Oh yeah.
So that's in a nutshell, Jose. That's been my journey in the process. I've helped, agents that started with, no experience have success. And I've just found this tremendous amount of joy helping others figure this out. And I'm going to share a story with you because I think it
Yeah,
really
please.
impacted me. So when I went to work for this insurance company, Senior Life, and in that group, I got really close to the ownership team there. I was number one, in sales and distribution for that whole organization in a hurry.
Wow.
So I got invited to a lot of like high-end meetings with them. And, the marketing agency, and the insurance carriers are two different mentalities in most cases, the way they think, the way they operate. And I got invited to this meeting. And in this meeting, one of the gentlemen gets up, older gentleman, nice suit, nice hanky, and he makes the case and he says, why is it that, the average insurance agent is a male, 59 years old? Why is that the case? Bro, and at the time, and he said, and there's not a lot of youngsters in this space. Why is it? And I'm talking about 10 years ago. This other gentleman steps up into the podium there to talk, and he mentions, I have the answer for you. And he says, the reason not a lot of the youngsters are getting into the insurance business is because of the bad rap that insurance has lately. For most of us here that started our careers in the 70s, maybe some of us in the 60s, when we started training in insurance sales, it was full-blown training. Customer
Yeah.
service, sales, closing, and you collected the premiums from, the client. No questions asked. But when the innovation of marketing strategies kicked in, everybody figured out, hey, we can recruit faster because we have so many more leads to cover. We need more people. And the distribution system was broken because people weren't training their agents the way they did it back in the old times. And if you look at it, man, that's a weakness today. People that train others don't get the full training.
Yeah.
Because they're in a hurry to bring on the new agent because either a turnover rate's too high and they're sacrificing that training. So I heard that, man, and it just impacted me. And I just said to myself, you know what? I'm going to focus on making sure that at least when we're working with a client, an agent, we're helping them understand the full concept of sales and closing at every level of the game. And it's been awesome, bro. Over the course of the last year, we've helped, 4 or 5 large insurance groups. I'm talking 15,000, 20,000 agents in these
Wow.
agencies with these type of concepts and strategies, to help them with what is telephone sales. So I hope that helped you. That gave you a better clarity to you and to obviously your audience, bro.
Oh man, no, it's awesome. Yeah. And I think people don't realize how impactful the phones are still right now because nobody, everybody's through the internet, and the internet is getting really expensive, Lauro. You know what I'm talking about.
Definitely.
But
definitely, it's very
yeah,
expensive marketing is.
But nothing ever compares to the personal touch, getting to
Oh, of
people,
course,
like,
no question. Yeah,
closing a
no
deal, like all
question.
of those things.
Yes.
The internet will never make it, as clean, as nice as person-to-person communication, no matter what. That's what I
Oh,
think.
of course, absolutely. I totally
Yeah.
agree with you, bro. Totally, totally. Look, I'll throw it out there to you.
Yeah.
As a kid, I grew up a Jehovah's Witness, so I knocked on doors every day. So, bro, if there's anybody that knows about face to face and the human
Yeah.
touch, man, I grew up like that as a kid, and you're absolutely right. And that will never be replaced. In fact, it goes back to what I was saying. Being grateful, having fellowship, family, taking that trip with your friends, not postponing it. Why? Because of the personal touch. Totally. I'm
100%.
with you. 100% with you, Jose.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it's always been, at least in my space, it was, nope, this is the way we do things,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the way it's always going to be. And, you know, we were able to see last year that, yes, that's true, but there's other ways to get the business done. And if you look at, you know, production numbers, they speak for themselves. You know, it's just amazing. Again, I go back, look at, here we are having this meeting here with you,
Yeah.
and we're connecting, you know, so it's definitely powerful to see what's happening. Technology,
Mm-hmm.
um, and the different, you know, strategies in terms of sales that we have at our disposal. We just got to take advantage of them. You know,
Yeah.
it's powerful. I'll give you a quick example. After we talked the other day, you sent me a quick little audio clip. You know what? I like that. I said, hey man, Jose's cool. Who does that?
Yeah.
People, oh, I don't like technology. Oh, I don't like to record my voice on an audio clip. Okay. But here we are. You get my
Exactly.
point? So it's awesome, bro. Definitely.
No, it is, man. It is, man. Another question. Let me tell you. So, why and how do you get into the insurance industry? Like, what, why, and how did it happen?
It's a good question. So I grew up in the restaurant business, and in that business, my family owned, my parents owned this Italian restaurant. And you know, growing up in the restaurant business, it's an interesting, you know, youth, because most of my weekends I would spend it down at the restaurant, you know, doing something. And through that, growing up, you know, you build a relationship, you start seeing your regulars come through. And
Mm-hmm.
in that process, we had this one young, successful Charles Schwab executive. So he actually had like his employee number, he, you know, what his true employee number from the moment he started. And this guy was young, dude, and he would always roll up to the restaurant in a nice car.
Nice.
And I'd be like, wow, this guy's young. And the rest of the old timers, you know, that would come in there with money, maybe with the new Cadillac or the Corvette, they were old timers, right? So it was like, you know, that's cool, but dude, the guy's 75. Yeah, give me a
Yeah.
75, right? But here comes a dude that looks like he's in his early 30s. And I'm thinking, does he even work? But obviously he was in the financial service industry, you
Mm-hmm.
know, doing investments, doing, you know, some form of, I'm sure, insurance. And he was a friend of my father and my mother, and he would always show up, man, to eat. So I got to know he was successful. When my father passed away, you know, I sold off the restaurant, and I was just like in a moment of darkness, bro. You know, I was just
Right.
like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know, I just cashed out a life insurance policy from New York Life that my dad left me. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna chill. I don't have nothing to do. But you know, after a week or so, I was thinking to myself, man, this is getting boring. Just, you know, feeling sorry for myself. So I got into, what is it, pest control. Believe it or not,
Okay.
I was out there doing pest control just to you know, have my day doing something positive. Didn't last very much. Got fired like 3 months later. And in that time frame, I bumped into my buddy. I was embarrassed as hell, bro. He's like, "What are you doing?" I didn't even want to tell him what I was doing. I didn't
Right.
want to, but I felt like he knew already. And I'm telling him, "Yeah, man, I'm out there doing pest control. I'm doing rodent maintenance out in the almond trees and this and that." He's like, "What are you doing, dude? Are you serious?" And he's like, "Come on, this is ridiculous." And I was like embarrassed. I'm not gonna lie, because I really respect him. And he says, "Dude, you got to get into insurance sales. You you got a high school diploma. I know you don't got no college, but I can get you as an insurance salesman. I got the guy for you." Dude, the guy, his name was Rick Altig, and he's the main guy at American Income Life in his
Wow.
organization.
Mm-hmm.
Well, dude, I went over with him, They helped me get licensed, and then the rest was history. You know, and I really credit it to him, because if he wouldn't have, and he wasn't a flashy guy, you know, that's the point. He just knew the guy had money, because he you know, typically someone that's working a lot, man, they're working a lot, you know, and someone that's chill, and you're asking, dude, is he working?
Yeah.
And he did it, and he did it right. And that's how I got into the business. And then, man, it just started flourishing. You know,
Beautiful.
my first year was a phenomenal year. And then shortly after that, you start duplicating yourself with others and helping them do the same. And it's a tough business, but you know, if you have joy for it, you can definitely have some rewards in it for sure. And for me, that was residual income. You know, the concept of, okay, I help Miss Jones with some insurance today. I do my best to have her paying every month, and she's happy with me. Then I multiply that times 10, 15, 20,000 apps paying me every month. Yeah, 10 cents doesn't sound like much right on the surface, but when you start adding all that up,
Oh yeah.
woo, they add up quick. And that was the beauty of insurance residuals. And that kept us going, man. That kept us going.
And for 18 years. So I mean, I can't imagine
18 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
how much
18
you've
years.
accumulated.
You know what?
Crazy.
It's I've done a lot of accumulated. I've also spent a lot of money. And that's another thing that brings me back to insurance sales. And maybe this is why I'm such a fan of it, is that, remember that concept of the feast and famine concept, right? You're doing good today, and next week you're starving to death.
Yeah.
That's in sales. That's a sales life for a lot of folk, right? They're like, whoa, they're great today. Next month, man, they're starving to death. The insurance provided that consistency.
Right.
So if I had like a bad year, and trust me, man, I had several bad years, that residual income was like that little, what is it, like, you know, lifesaver, bro, you know, to adjust and modify. And we couldn't have done it without insurance residuals. No way. There's no way. And that's really another secret to what we do, is longevity. The insurance business is a longevity type of a business. And traditionally, man, those carriers make all the money. You know, they take all the money, but they can pay us a little bit, you know, a little bit. So we're good with that.
I was guys, everybody here, I was speaking with Lauro, and he's like, man, I have 18 years doing this. And I'm like, man, I'm sure you're tired, or, you know, like, you know, probably you want to do something else. And he's like, no, man, I'm super passionate about this. I still love insurance. I'm like, man. And I thought to myself, like, man, I have 8 years doing websites and I'm tired.
You are? That's
I am,
it,
man. I
man.
am. You know, I don't do the websites
I think
anymore.
you're tired. I think you're tired, but maybe you like it still. You're still involved with it. Is that the case or no?
When I start inventing new stuff, I do. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, but the same old and all of that, yeah. You know, I'm just kind of tired of it.
Right.
Now I'm not the one doing the stuff, like the programming department in my business is handled. You know, everybody's had it, is trained. Yeah. And that gets me to the point. Thank you, man. So that gets me to the point. You said something really important. And just so you know, Laura, the audience, our audience here, everybody that is watching us, they're small businesses. They're probably not expanded yet. Okay. They're trying to, but they don't know. Okay. So tell them a little bit of about how did you, because you talk about multiplying, but the people, give them some tips to my people here. How do you go about doing that in a business?
The most important thing, and it sounds cliche, but it's so cliche, right? But I gotta say it.
Okay.
And when they say that, people, you really don't impact people until they figure out how much you care. You let that sink in for a little bit. I can hire anybody, man. You know, prior to this moment I'm talking about, I was recruiting a lot of people, but I wasn't really making sure they were fully trained. So sometimes it's very difficult to determine how much you spend on an agent to train them to duplicate. Because duplication is not by numbers, even though that's how we gain volume and distribution. I get it.
Yeah.
But that quality of training and really investing your time, almost like a damn checklist, bro.
Right.
Is he trained? Yes. Did we go over this? Yes. Did you do this? Yes. Did he sit with Jose? Yes. How about Lauro? Yes. How about again with Lauro? Yes. Woo. Man, I'm getting tired of this. Yeah, but I need to make sure you get this.
Mm-hmm.
That right there is very powerful, because what's going to happen is when you know that I'm in the trenches with you and you see me doing it, you're going to go tell 1 or 2 or 3 others. It just happens, bro. And they're going to tell them, look, dude, I'm working with this dude. He's pretty intense. And I've called him out a few times, but then he got on the phones and he showed me otherwise. And he showed me a thing or two, nothing but respect. Oh, damn, really? Yeah. What's his number? That right there, if you can understand that, man, that scales fast.
Yeah. Shit, I love
it. If you go out there and hire a bunch of people, because we're on social media, we can pay, to do advertisement and do fancy video stuff. I'm telling, we could do on and on and on. But is it really, I mean, are you really impacting these people? And if the answer is no, that right there is going to cost money. Whether it costs, maybe not right now, but long term that costs. On the other hand, you invest time and energy in finding that right person and really make sure they got exactly what you're training them for, what they're, what role they're on the team. That works, man. And I know it's not what people want to hear.
Yeah.
Especially in this fast-paced world that we live in, but that's really been the secret. I can't even tell you. Less is more kind of a thought process.
Yeah. Dude, it was something that it was hard to accept for me, right? But as soon as I did it, Lauro, everything just started working, because I was really stuck, man. I was stuck at $15,000 a month, and I had a 10-man sales team. But it was, you guys, business owners watching us right now, it's your fault. Everything that happens in your company is your fault, and you have to accept it, right? To improve. But you have to be a real leader, train people, okay? Even if you hire these super high quality people, you got to train them. What Lauro is saying is just, is the truth. 100%.
And I think sometimes too, I'll tell you this much. I always tell people around me, I tell them this all the time. I'm like, I'm in sales, marketing, and training. Those are my 3 strong points. I want to stay in that. Anything else, accounting, that's not my department. Logistics, not my department. These are my strengths. And I think most people, before they expand too, Jose, they got to be the master of their craft, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I can't, it's hard to respect someone if they themselves can't do it. It's just challenging. I know there's a lot of people that are wonderful trainers and they've never done it in their life. I get it. But the idea of you doing it, and it just really helps, man. It really helps build that trust with your, that new teammate, that new employee, agent, whatever. You doing it to a certain capacity. You know what I'm saying? I just respect people in that, in that type of, that have that type of disposition. Get my point?
Yeah. But yeah, man, unfortunately, Lauro, society is built upon teachers that have never applied what they teach and all of that stuff, right? And I don't want to get into that, but just to tell a little bit more about, what happens if you do things right is in my business, if you don't know what you're doing, you cannot write a process, okay? Which is just writing down what you do on a regular basis. And then when you have an employee, you got something to teach them with, okay?
Right.
You got the training material, because you can drill and all of these things, but what are you going to drill them on?
That's right.
How?
Oh, you're absolutely right. No, you're right.
It's
the
crazy,
documented process is definitely something I don't think a lot of people do. Having that process documented, like you're saying, is very important. Yes.
Man,
Totally
that's what I
agree.
did, and it just changed my business forever. And right now we're doing the sales and marketing ones are done, programming is done. We're doing a
Wow.
customer service, and we're gonna be doing just like lead generation. I'm gonna get from some people from the Philippines in the team and
Love it.
BAs and all of that, and blow it up, with like get a bunch of leads, because now I got some salespeople that they're getting like to be real killers, but I don't want them to spend time, lead generating. I would rather pay less to someone that just dedicates to that, because it is a lot. Once
Hmm.
you got to follow up with all these leads and all of that,
Oh, of
you cannot
course.
lead generate, and then you don't have more deals when you're done closing these
Right.
deals. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I'm working on that, but I don't want to get into that, man. That's too advanced. These people, like I told you,
I'm
we're
loving
all
a
starting,
lovely generation.
right? But Laura, let me ask you a question, man. If you could start all over again, what would you do differently in business?
Ooh,
Woo!
what would I do differently? Here's a good
Yeah.
question. One, I would be very carefully in borrowing money. Okay. When
Whoa.
you're making money, you're making big money, your cash flow, cash flow is big, right? And it's easy to get involved in many deals, man. It's just easy when you're cash flow rich. And I think just in general, just being careful with that type
Hmm.
of lending, borrowing. Because man, you
Wow.
can you can have, let's be honest, being an entrepreneur, no one's guarantees. There's no guarantees. No guarantees. You open up a shop doesn't mean it's going to be around 2 months down the road. So, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes people get so overzealous that they get caught up, you know. And then the old basic principles, man. I hate to sound like that, but saving money, bro. Saving money. I hate to say that, but my dad used to say that. I didn't like that when I was younger,
Yeah.
but the older I get, the better I like the sound of that saving money,
Hmm.
because when what hits the fan, who's gonna be there to help you? Cash, man. Cash.
Hmm. Yeah.
Cash resolves issues. I'm saying I got some really good friends around me, but it always seems sometimes when you're going through a hardship, what happens? Your friends
Yeah.
are also going through a hardship. Man, now what?
Yeah.
So, those are my takeaways, bro, in business. And following, yeah, and following, man, your heart, man, sticking to it. That's it. So
Woo.
it's it's that's my thinking, Jose.
Man,
Just
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah. No, man, it's just I know it's an idea, right? But how many times have you been in a situation where, you know, $1,000, $2,000 extra, you lost out on a deal? I mean, stuff like that. That's one thing I've seen, and any advice I can give anybody would be that right there
Yes.
from my standpoint.
Man, that's great. Now, and this question is very related with that. Is what have been some of the hardest moments for you in business?
Ooh, many,
Many.
many. I had to start out. Yeah. So in 2010, I, was doing very well at a carrier. Okay. Number one at a carrier. And at that moment in time, I knew I wanted to make my own move, run my own agency. And I'll call it as it is. I wanted to make my own decisions. And I know it sounds a little arrogant, but that's really
Mhm.
where my heart was at. I was like, you know what? I'm doing all the sales, I'm doing all the training, I'm doing all this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, that I didn't acknowledge the people around me, but I just saw an opportunity to do it on my own. And hey, this will be my own thing, even if it's small, whatever. And I
Hmm.
did that. And I walked away from being number one at a carrier, grossing $125,000 a month. And I'm
Hmm.
talking in 2010, walking away with, several $1 million in residuals from this carrier to
Wow.
start from scratch, because I was really following what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be on my own. And when that happened, the insurance companies, they cease all monies paying to you. Okay, so
Wow.
if you're cash flowing $125,000 a month, and then you decide to move on to another insurance carrier and build a new distribution channel for them, that old carrier you walked away from, they say, hey, we're going to tally everything you owe us. And then once we tally all that, then all the positives will be paid to you on a monthly basis. So I went from $125,000 to $0
Wow.
within 30 days. And I saw $400,000 disappear literally in thin air, because it'd go to pay overhead, it went to pay staff, it went to pay everything, because you're a player, right, player?
Yeah.
You're playing. So you got it
shit.
all on the line. And I knew then that the most important thing was that I got to get out there myself and do it myself. And you know what? I started by myself. I was number one salesman for myself. And it took me 6-7 months, but in those 6-7 months, I had to get rid of my private cook. I had to get rid of the guy that would do my lawn. Hey man, no shame in the game. I had to do what I had to do, but I got what I wanted. See, and that was the hardest part in my career, was that point. And man, I paid the price then. And it was tough, but it's, and I'm happy I did that, because a lot of people thought I was crazy. Think about it. I was number one at the company. You're number one. Whoa, everyone's like number one. Whoa. You feel like a rock star, right?
Yeah.
You go from that to following something you want to follow. Because, hey, man, you feel you can do it better. You feel you have a better vision for it. You feel whatever the case was, I went with it. It doesn't mean it was easy, though. No.
Right.
And man, in first month, seeing the ledgers, all the money going to pay everything is hard, because now you're not only working on building revenue, but you're managing everything else.
Yeah.
And that's tough. A lot of business people don't really talk about stuff like that. If you think about it, it's always about the glory and it's this and that. Let's talk about some real emotions, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it is. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
But anyways, man, yeah, I've had a lot of hard moments, but I would say that's definitely one of the most challenging ones. Because it always seems like when you're going through a bad patch, it seems like everything's going bad, bro. It's so easy to get into your head, right? You're like, oh man, I don't know if this is it for me. You got the naysayers around you saying, hey, maybe you need to do this, you need to do that. And it's easy to get sidetracked. So it's not, it's not easy, man.
No.
So that's why these programs that you do and the fact that you get on here is good, because others can glean off this information. You know what I'm saying? The
Thanks,
gentleman
man.
that you were talking about, they glean off it. And sometimes all you need is just to listen into maybe 15 minutes. And you say, you know what? Just one more day.
Yeah.
Shoot, just one more day, huh? Yeah. Just one more day. Yeah. Come on. And bro, that one day changes the whole game.
Yeah.
That it's that spirit, man. So at the end of the day, Jose, you got to love what you do. And if you start there, the rest just makes sense. Like that's what's worked for us.
Lauro, that I love that, man. Thank you so much for those words. What I love about having my own business and sales, more sales than anything else, because you can have your own business, but if you're suck at sales and marketing, it's hard. Okay. But I've been lucky. Sorry, what did you say?
No, I said, amen. You got to be the best salesman on your company, bro. I mean, without you don't hire the accountant. You don't hire the helper. Without you as a number one salesman, you don't got nothing. And it sounds messed up, but it's fact. It all starts with a sale.
It is.
And it's a beautiful thing. That's what makes America go.
Dude, if it wasn't because of my sales skills, I was training Carter University for 2 years, man, before I jumped into my business, going all in. And that was the only reason why I was able to started well. You know, in my second month, Laura, I was already doing $15,000. It's
I
just
believe
me
it.
as a salesperson.
Yep, I believe it. One thing I love about the concept of Cardone U
Mhm.
is the follow-up strategy.
Oh yeah.
That follow-up strategy is something that a lot of people are missing out on the boat on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're thinking of a one-time close type thinking, right? Oh, I didn't close
Yeah.
them now, rip up the lead later. But Cardone talks about follow-up, how to culture
Mm-hmm.
that, how to nurture that. I'm sorry. And you know, eventually today might not be the day. But guess what? Next year might be that day. You just happen to pick up the phone call, you know, to pick up the
Yeah.
phone and say hi. No, you're right. I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah. I used to say, like, why does Grant always says that there's no one thing that would destroy a deal? And it's because of the follow-up, man. If you think about
I
it, because
agree.
yeah, you can fuck a call, you know, you can destroy a call by saying something dumb. But then if you continue to follow up, you know, they'll see your commitment. And I was in
Amen.
this conference and one guy asked, and I'm like, man, you wouldn't ask that if you knew follow up, right? He asked, like,
Right.
how can, without any reputation, I'm just starting my business, how can I get that, you know, like that recognition of me being good, doing what I do, and committed to helping the customer? And I'm like, follow up, man.
Right.
You don't have to pay.
Amen. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you pay press releases, you have a badass website, marketing, they see you everywhere, which is what Grant Cardone has been doing, right?
Of course, of course,
Of
of
course, it's gonna
course.
be awesome. But you don't have
Course.
anything, you don't have budget, you have zero. You're just starting. If you follow up, which is what nobody else does, you're well off, like at the beginning, you know, you're super well.
Bro, I'll
Just
throw
yeah.
this out there to you.
Uh-huh.
Follow up is powerful, and there's just so many ways to follow up with clients these days.
Yeah.
I mean, just so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
And people are on all these platforms that you find creative ways to say hello, follow up, and connect with that person. That's it,
Yeah.
man. Human connection.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree with what you're saying, Jose. And
Thanks,
that's why
man.
you're having success, bro.
Oh
That's
man,
why.
thank you so much. Yeah, this is, you know, little things that people say, like, probably could be listening to this and be like, oh man, it's the same thing everybody says, but it's everybody's saying it for a reason. Man, I have more questions. Okay, let's keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about your book, my brother. Tell us about your book. You have a
No,
book?
so
Yes.
yeah, so basically, you know, going on the idea that this industry is traditionally been an older, you know, person, you know, average age 59-year-old male. When I started in this industry, I started at 25 years old. So, you know, by the time I was 30, you know, I had already crossed the seven-figure mark, and I just didn't know it, man. I just never went to college, but I didn't know it. And one of my buddies, his name's Scott Riddle, he's just a, you know, big player, man, in the industry. And, you know, he was in the owned 3 or 4 life insurance companies, you know, started back in the 60s. I mean, he made a fortune. He's been on the insurance carrier side, on the agency side, you know. And I would visit a lot with him. I'd go down and visit with him in Waco. And one of the thing about these big timers, these big rich big timers, bro, these insurance cats, is they're low key players, bro. You don't see these guys coming,
Yeah.
bro. And I'd go out to Waco, Texas, and look at his cattle, look at his horses, and just, you know, hang out with this guy. And one day he told me, he says, dude, because one of the guys on our team says, dude, let's write this book. Let's talk about it. We'll publish it and we'll get it published. And you can use this, you know, just to tell your story a little bit. I was like, I don't know about this, bro. I don't know. You know, I'm not something I'm promoting really. You know, it's not something I promote heavily, you know? So Scott's like, dude, just do it, man. You know, we want to get more youngsters in the space. You know, we want to show them, hey, man, you've done it. You got the residuals there to show it. Just write out
Yeah.
your story. Just write out your story. What's been your story so far? And bro, that's how it happened. And you know, I'm happy it did, man, because it just shows me that back then there wasn't like social media like we have today, you know. So it really is,
Right.
if you caught it in a print form somewhere, or you knew someone, or you know, the experience of training and mentorship is just different, right? So
Hmm.
writing it was a way I could hand out a copy to somebody, and that's how it worked, man. I'm happy, you know, like I said, I'm happy I did that because
Yeah.
it did accomplish that, you know. Um, it did accomplish what happened, and again, highlighting the fact that, you know, when you understand that when someone dies in America, right, majority of Americans are struggling financially. I think they said like 70% of Americans, if they came across an emergency, they would struggle to put together $1,000.
Hmm.
So imagine you're dealing with a demographic of folk that are struggling,
Yeah.
and on top of that, they have an unexpected funeral, death. How are they going to pay for that? There's no private money, no government assistance. It's cash.
Yeah.
And, you know, I keep on saying the process of paying a claim is just extremely powerful
Hmm.
because of the impact that it has in the client.
The family. Yeah.
Yep, it does. So
No, that's great,
it
man.
just multiplies everything, Jose.
Hmm. And guys, everybody here, you can see he's an author because how he is so good at storytelling. You see the guy, he gets in the story, he's like, he involves you in the story, and you're like, oh man, shit, I like that story. Yeah, he makes something simple, and he's like makes a story, and you're like, I'm imagining him at the restaurant, like it's crazy, like working at the restaurant, meeting the guy, like all of that, I'm
It's
imagining.
funny.
So you have a power there, man. Just so you know, I just
Thank you,
wanted to
bro.
acknowledge that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is, it
Thank you.
is. Bro, what inspires you every day?
You know, man, America inspires me, bro. And, you know, I was born in Mexico, in central Mexico, and my parents came here, you know, when I was a very young age. So I have this how can this understanding of being, you know, me as an immigrant and also capitalist. And just the idea that, you know, America offers an opportunity for someone like myself, someone like you,
Yeah, like me.
an
I was gonna say that.
opportunity, to do anything you want, man. That's
Yeah.
powerful. Because I barely graduated high school. And, you know, I've done very well, you know, compared to some of the people I used to go to school with, you know, and that's America for you. You know, in Mexico, you can have a great idea, you can have a good business, but if you know, it's tougher, it's difficult because of maybe corruption or some of the other stuff that, you know, destroys opportunity in other countries.
Yeah.
That right there motivates the daylights out of me, Jose. That right
Yeah.
there. I can't explain it. And it motivates me because I know the opportunity we have. And because of that reason, well, you know, I want to take advantage of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you're in the same boat, right? You're from
Yeah.
Venezuela, right? That's your
Right.
background, correct? So it's a very, you know, I'm proud. I'm
Mm-hmm.
proud of that. And just that in itself motivates me. You know, when I hear people complaining, it kind of bothers me a little bit because I'm thinking, man, if you only knew. If you only knew, right? If they only knew and they really knew, trust me, man, they would be waking up every single day with so much optimism. Whatever, let's roll.
Yeah.
So that's what motivates me, true. And you know, my
Woo.
children, my family. But
100%.
if we had to talk business, it'd be that.
Man, no, that's great. I love that you said that because I obviously, you know, and not everybody that watches us is an immigrant or, you know, like I need to actually get more into helping the Latin community because I, you know, it's not I have anything against our community or anything, but you know, I've seen bigger success in the just the American community. So, but yeah, it touches my heart, you know, and
Absolutely.
I only have 5 years here, man. I don't have like an entire
Really?
lifetime here,
Wow, that's
but
impressive.
yeah, but I acknowledge it, right? Like I know this is the center of the universe of the world. the crazy stuff happens here, and the opportunities are here for anybody to take them, you know? So it's really incredible, man.
It is definitely.
It's really inspiring, like you said. Bro, tell us, because you have an insurance marketing agency. I want to ask you about a little bit about that. How do you help insurance agency with Herrera Insurance Marketing?
Okay, so basically what Herrera Insurance Marketing does is we have, relationships with a handful of insurance carriers. And, we contract agents direct, not a whole lot, but we do contract them direct, and, we do make a small override over all sales made. But we also help people with the lead generation of it. That's where X-Telecom comes in. So, a long time ago, I realized that in order to help more people, I need more leads. So it's almost like it's a necessary evil. I mean, you got leads, we got more leads, you got more sales. It just by that in itself, we got more revenue. So, years ago, 15 years now, I started off in doing television marketing. So I was doing TV marketing, start off in Spanish, doing a lot of that. And then, radio marketing and Facebook and, all the stuff that we see here today. But what we realized when we got on the phone is that we needed to perfect the process to do a live transfer delivery system. And that's what we did. So I contract people overseas in Pakistan, Philippines. We manage right about 1,000 people.
Wow.
As well as Colombia for our Spanish division. And all they do really is that they screen all those leads that we generate. When they screen them, then at that point in time, they're looking for if the person's interested in final expense, they got time, and as well if they got a valid payment plan.
Yeah.
And also we're looking for a true intent. Just because someone's surfing through the internet and decides to fill out this flyer for a Corvette doesn't mean they're really looking to buy the Corvette. They might have just wanted to check it out a little bit more, right? Yeah. And a lot of agents deal with a lot of those leads. Well, our company, what we've done is just kind of think of us as a screening process and then transferring the call to the agent that, does the sales presentation and then eventually helps them bind a small little policy to pay for their funeral arrangements.
Okay.
So that's the marketing that we do. And that in itself has been fun because to this day, I've never met a company that says, I don't want leads. So
exactly.
I'm serious. I have never, ever met a company that says, I don't want leads.
Yeah.
In fact, it's always the demand's always a lot higher than the perfect supply, right? That they want.
Yeah.
It's just the demand's just always going to be that way, which is good. But that's what we do in marketing, bro. And we help these agencies, large and small, setting up their virtual call center so they could take these calls. And then as well as doing a lot of, compliance education when it comes to picking up the phone. There's a lot of compliance. See, when you pick up the phone to call on a business to business, there's really no regulations there. When you pick up a phone to call a resident to promote some product, now you got to abide by TCPA laws and DNC laws. So we do a little bit of that too in the marketing. So it's not just generation and lead gen, even though it's lead gen would be something you do, but then we would be doing the screening like what you're doing currently. Yeah. And it just works. It just works. Because of this crisis, I don't want to mention the name because they like to flag these videos, right? But I want to call it the crisis. A lot of people found the service to be very effective. Live inbound feeds is pretty sweet.
Nice.
So that's what we do, bro. It's always very specific. It's only been specific to what I do. I've never done any other form of marketing. It's just been exclusive to the niche insurance that I sell and my group sells.
Yeah, stay in your niche and your
and
your
it works,
superpower side.
Yeah, and it works, and it works. it just works, just work on it every day and just gets better and better and better and better.
Yeah.
And progress is based on that, right?
Yeah.
Practice.
100%.
Right.
Woo. No, that's great, man.
Well, that's good.
Lauro, like, how can, if there's anybody here watching us or later, because this is going to be up there, this interview, and there's an agency that would like to hire you, where can they call you or contact you?
You know what, man? On YouTube, I'm on YouTube. If you look me up, Lauro Herrera. I've been on YouTube now since 2016.
Nice.
And we just been telling our story. They can find a lot of information in those videos. Some of that information won't make no sense to some folk. Some of it be like, I don't like this dude. But you know what? I feel we put out a lot of stuff. Gives the right person that's looking for maybe the right niche enough info. And then, my phone number's there as well. They could always reach out to me. I'm pretty good with the phone, right? Would be the irony.
Yeah.
The irony of a phone guy is if you don't pick up the phone or call you back, right? I pick up the phone, so.
Beautiful.
And, feel free to call me, man. Any question, anything we can do to help you, I'll be more than happy to. And going back to what motivates me, there's one thing about America is that there's so much opportunity here that can go around for everybody. So, that's why we're open to giving us away as much as we can for free, no cost. In many respects, we don't even charge agencies. In fact, when they pay for their leads, we provide them with the training for free. And we also provide them an internal coach that will do a sales meeting with their team once a week, no cost. Because if you win, we talk about scalability and duplicatable stuff, right? Earlier.
Yeah.
If you win, when you gain our services and you truly win, you're going to come back and buy more.
Completely. Yeah.
I make sure, and we provide that coach because we want to make sure that you have every opportunity to win, and it's working. It's working.
Man, that's great. So you guys do so much for people, man. That's awesome. And man, so we're almost done here. Thank you for being here, Lauro. It's a great opportunity to have you here, man. I'm so appreciative of you.
You're making me nervous, bro. You're making me nervous, so I'm just joking with you now. I've enjoyed it, man. I've enjoyed chatting here with you, and
man, it's been awesome.
The objective is positive, and
100%.
That's the idea.
Yeah. No, man, everything here is made with the heart, and to help people.
I see that.
Like give value, not like
I see that.
BS. Yeah.
No, I see that. Yes.
Yeah, you need to give value to people, like you said. You first give value, and then you ask, hey, would you like to do business with me? But it's natural. You're not just, hey, business, let's do business. And they're like, yeah, well, why would I do business with you? Doesn't make any sense. No, I love it, man.
No, you're right,
bro. Again, thank you so much for being here. I can't believe all the stuff, the value that you're giving here. It's been crazy, man. Listen, their last question for you, man. Okay, is and I ask this to everybody, okay? But every time, and everybody that I ask this to, they give so much value. So I keep asking the same question: is what are the 3 tips? What are the 3 tips that you would give to a small business owner to become as successful as you are?
Okay, first one, have a good understanding of the product, services, business you're involved in. Okay, have a good understanding. Second, make sure that your circle is really, really small, because when it comes to leadership, you can have a friend that has been your partner for years, and it takes one bad argument to start messing up your business. So be very careful on who you go into business with. And man, last one, I'm going to tell it again: save money, pay your taxes.
Save money,
pay your taxes, stack your cash, and good investments are all over the place, right? I'm not an investment advisor, so that's not my position. But the point is, save your money, man. Pay your taxes, and play it safe. And once you get to enough cash where you could take some risk, where the risk if you lost it, wouldn't put you out of business, then hey, man, it's appropriate. But you
Right.
know, that's my advice, bro.
Woo. Man, thank you so much. So again, guys, for everybody, is good understanding about your business and what you do. Okay, that's the first one. Have a small circle, okay, in your business. Okay, and then lastly is save money and pay your taxes. That's by Lauro Herrera.
Yeah, that's right. That's it.
Thank you so much, man.
All
No,
right,
God bless
Jose.
you, bro.
You have a God bless you
Yeah.
too, brother.
Man,
Bye.
God bless you. It's been an honor to have you here. Thank you,
I thank
everybody
you, man,
that
for even thinking
stayed
about us.
here for all the interview. It's been an amazing interview. You guys, it's gonna be here. You can rewatch it. Okay, tell your friends about it.
Awesome.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Lauro.
All right,
Thank you for
Jose.
being here,
Thank
man.
you, sir.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Woo.
Bye-bye.
Let's go.